Good job today, man. One at a time, and we'll get the job done. Y'all know what to say. On three. 1, 2, 3.
And the home of the Jets.
Good evening, everybody. A victory Monday for some, for others, not so much. But Bubs, interesting times with the Jets as they beat the Falcons. And I'm pretty fired up, man. How you doing?
Yes, Tyson, thanks for having me back on. Happy Victory Monday for those out there that are celebrating the Victory Monday. Looking forward to diving into it. Should be a fun show. Lots to discuss. 5 games to go, so we'll see how it all plays out.
Yeah, no, it was an interesting game yesterday. You get your true roller coaster ride of a game where you're like, you see some good, you see some bad. Then you're like, they're going to blow it. Then at the end, they get down to 12 seconds. They have the false start. You're like, oh, like it was a wild and wacky time. And then they get the win, and you look at the reactions where I was like, dude, this was great. You have this young team fighting, and it's like, I think in a true tank year, like say going back to the Gase years, whatever, you wanted to tank out and lose their game because you wanted everybody fired. You wanted everybody out of here, get the number 1 pick, get the quarterback, everything else, which is fine. In other years, you could say, you know what, maybe this year it's like, all right, if there was a slam dunk person that was like, if you had like the Andrew Luck way back when, or whoever, the tank for Trevor, you can say, okay, maybe we desperately want this quarterback. That's the only way to turn things around. I can understand that too. But right now where the Jets are at in the season, we kind of expect them to win 5 or 6 games. They're on path to do that. The tanking thing doesn't really make a lot of sense to me at this point.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. When we set out at the beginning of the season, it was all about an evaluation of this coaching staff and this roster. And we said at the beginning of the year, what they look like to open up the season and what they look like to close out the season needs to be significantly better. You need to see consistent progress and consistent development in the right direction from the staff and these players to feel confident about this regime, both Darren Muji, Glenn, everybody else moving forward going into 2026. And to open things up, they were headed in the wrong direction. But now you look at these last 5 games, you're 3-2. Even in the 2 losses, the team didn't fight. They weren't, getting embarrassed. They were sticking in games against teams that were way more talented than them. I know Baltimore's had their struggles, but Baltimore's still way more talented, has a significant track record of success over compared to the Jets. And same thing with New England, right? A team with an MVP caliber quarterback and Drake May. They hung in that game on primetime on the road. And now you've been able to pick up wins in 3 of your last 5. And the team's fighting. They're playing hard. They're playing hard for Glenn. And it's the young guys that are playing well. And that, to me, is the difference from the whole tank, be upset about losing and be happy about the win, be happy to see the young guys playing well. Because at the end of the day, Glenn and Muji are coming back. The minute the trade deadline passed and they made those moves, you knew they were coming back. Even in the event that those moves never happened, the likelihood of them being a one and done was very, very small. That was not going to happen. And with that being the case, you want to see them do well because you were spot on how you opened up the show. This isn't a regime that we want to run out of town, that we want to get blown up. This is a regime that you want to see build something sustainable here. Rooting against them, hoping for them to lose doesn't help them build this thing properly moving forward. And I think personally, just what they were able to do at the trade deadline, some of these young players they were able to bring in, which I'm sure we'll talk about, to me, them winning these games and playing well gives me more faith in Glenn and Muji to fix the quarterback position, get the quarterback right, than if they would to go 2-15, have a higher draft pick, and they play like garbage. Do you really have any faith then in them to get the right?
You nailed it. You just nailed it. Well, there's a couple things, and you touched on all of it already. It's like when Glenn took this job, we said one of the biggest challenges he has is change the culture. What culture are we changing? Losing, being complacent, justifying losing, excusing losing, not caring, having no-show performances, half-ass efforts, all those things which you saw in their solid many, many times. You're coming out of a bye, West Coast game, all this stuff. The Jets started out awful, and you're like, man, do we even have a coach? Do we even have players? What are we doing here? And everybody after the first 5-7 games, like, this is terrible. And then it's like, what did we all say? We want to see this team progress as the season plays out while they figured out the learning curve on offense, defense. You're figuring out your roster, your contracts, all these things. And are the players buying in? Is leadership going to emerge? All these things slowly but surely going to matter. The same people that are pissed off today would be calling for Glenn to get fired if he lost to the Falcons. Same old Jets, this coach sucks, everything else. But the bigger part is two things, is that look at the players that are making the plays. It's not like you have Frank Gore running out the clock or Devontae. It's like, this is guys where it's A.D. Mitchell, Mason Taylor, Breece Hall, Membu, Olu, A.Z. Thomas, Malachi Moore. These are young building blocks for the future that are learning now how to win with this staff to carry it over to next year. They're trying to find their way. All they've heard is same old Jets. Well, now they're saying, no, we're finding a way to change all this with hard work and believing with our coach. And they had many chances yesterday to mail it in and be like, yeah, you know what? Today's not our day. These guys keep fighting, man, and they keep believing. And all this stuff the coach is speaking, they're buying into more and more because you know what? It's paying off. Like the Jets have arguably one of the best special team units in football right now. Like the punter, the kicker, the returners, all that. But look at the guys contributing. Isaiah Williams. And the point that you made to me, just made now, was the biggest one of all this. If the Jets went 2-15 this year, you'd be like, what did Muji do with the talent? Are these guys getting coached? Where's the talent at? You have no playmakers. They went out and made aggressive trades. You know, A.D. Mitchell is shining. Mechie had an unfortunate day yesterday where I wanted to drop 20 passes. But you're making moves. Harrison Phillips been a fine. Briggs, Brownlee, he's hurt. Like, they're tinkering with the roster to bring in more talent. And now you're saying, we know what their vision is now. They want hard-nosed, tough, physical players that are all about team. And they're getting towards that as well. So to me, it's like, for somebody to say, I'm not seeing progress, like this guy here, I'm not doing this, I don't see this, I don't, whatever, dude. There is a vision and a blueprint, and they're trying to follow it, and slowly but surely it's playing out. So they beat a bad team. I genuinely, at least they're winning games. Yeah. It's the most important thing. Like, as fans, we want to win games. That's the goal of all this.
Yeah, 100%. You want to win games and you want to see progress in the first year of a regime. And when they fell to 0-7, we talked about it on the show. I remember specifically the live stream that you still have 10 games left. There still is time for them to turn this thing around. You go into November, go into December, and show progress. And I think that's another key element in all this. It's not like they're 0-13 and now they've rattled off 3 of their final 4. This is now 5 games. They still have 5 games left. If they continue this trend and let's say finish out this season here with 2 more wins and they go 5-5 over their last 10 and continue to show progress, you can really feel confident about, okay, second half of the season, they truly got better. And I think that's important. That's different from Gase winning 2 of his last 3 to blow the draft pick in 2020. They're doing it over the course of a bigger sample size this season. And a lot of it happened post-trade deadline where they brought in guys that fit their vision. John Mechie, A.D. Mitchell. And I think that too is, and I'm glad you brought that up, the names you just listed about all the young players, A.D. Mitchell, they traded for. John Mechie, Juwan Briggs, A.Z. Thomas, Malachi Moore, all players that were brought in by this regime.
Mason
them playing well, Jarvis Brownlee Jr. as well. I know he was hurt, but you move him back into the slot, he's a lot better than what he is as an outside
Brandon
corner.
Stevens
as well has been a fine for them after what was a very bumpy start and obviously a controversial signing at the time. He's panned out, and that's a good thing because you still have him under contract for 2 more years. He's going to be a piece of this puzzle for the near future. That has to give you confidence, those type of players playing well, because now you can hope and believe that they're going to find more talent now that they identify the type of players that they have. You see these type of players that they have identified and traded for playing well. And again, like that has to give you confidence them hopefully figuring out the quarterback positioning and filling out the rest of these holes. I mean, A.D. Mitchell's been great. And I think a lot of people are, and even the special teams, Isaiah Williams, they handpicked. Austin McNamara, they brought in. Nick Folk, they brought in. They completely redid the special teams unit, and credit to Aaron Glenn for finding Chris Banjo. I mean, Chris Banjo kind of is giving you the Mike Westall vibes. That's how good he's been. He's taken what was one of the worst special teams unit in the NFL last year and has turned him into an elite unit, one of the best units we've seen in the last 20 years in the NFL.
Yep.
They deserve credit for that. It's good to see that. And I'm not going to sit here and be miserable over wins when this regime's coming back and young players are playing well. And that's just the other point I wanted to make. I think people are reading too much into, 36-year-old Tyrod Taylor's at quarterback, and it was a 41-year-old who made the game-winning field goal. Like, that's kind of, you look at the bigger picture. Let's not act like it's just a bunch of veterans getting the job done. I think people are kind of picking that apart a little too much. Tyrod, sure, he's not the answer, but why was Tyrod put into for the quarterback? So you can see what Mason Taylor is. So you can see what this offense is with a competent NFL quarterback. And you're now seeing those players play well. We're not here to evaluate Tyrod. We're here to evaluate A.D. Mitchell and these others, and they're playing well.
But you're also evaluating Tanner Engstrand, his play calling with this. You're evaluating Aaron Glenn with his time management, game management. Yeah. You're evaluating on roster management, personnel moves, all these different things. Like the move that Tyrod Taylor made sense on so many friggin' levels, and we know that. But it's like, now you're seeing what this young team can do. This wasn't a one-year rebuild. Like Aaron Glenn comes in this year. Okay, next year we're a Super Bowl team. No, we realized there was a lot of bad players on this team, a lot of bad contracts, a lot of bad attitudes, and a lot of other stuff where it's like you've got to clean it up and clean out and figure out what you have. It's ugly early. It's getting better. That's all you can ask for. Next year, a whole different set of expectations, which is fine. But this is all like this is what people kind of asked for. It literally is.
Yeah. They, at the halfway point of this season, they blew it up. They put a wrecking ball to this roster. They said, we're going to bring in our own guys, stockpile draft picks, build this thing for the future. And I just have a hard time not having more confidence in Muji and Glenn with the players they brought in, the way they're playing, that they can find more players like this at these other positions of need. With the progress that we're seeing, it's good to see. I mean, I just, and you see Glenn's energy on the sideline. Like we all want to see him do well. We all want to see him win.
I think your headset's making noise.
Oh my. Okay. Oh.
Yeah, I think so. But the other thing too is that I started hearing it too. The other thing too is that everybody is so worried about the quarterback. Wow, now the Jets can't get a quarterback. Now the Jets can't do this. Now the Jets can't do that. That's just not true. Like, we have to get Mendoza. We have to get the number one pick. Let's face it. No Jet fan heading into this season thought we're getting the number one pick. Nobody thought that. Nobody said, we're the worst in the NFL. We have to get the number one pick to get Mendoza. No, the goal was we had to figure out a way to get a quarterback. Well, guess what the Jets have? They have a ton of cap space and a ton of draft assets to do that. If they're convinced that there's a guy, you go get that guy. If it costs you a little bit more because you're figuring out your culture, so be it. That's just the way this works. Because this to me is like you're building up equity right now with these wins, with the team, with your progress, with your process. If you have to give up some of that equity to go get your quarterback, great. Or what you could do is you could stand pat in the draft, pick best player available. There's so many different ways to get your quarterback. To say that you're screwing it up on December 1st is stupid. It is so stupid. Oh, well, look at the Giants. The Giants last year. Was Jackson Dart number one? Was he two? Was he three? No, he wasn't. Look at how many quarterbacks are found all throughout the draft and through free agency to help to have your team change direction. The most important thing is, if anything we want to evaluate right now is Darren Muji the guy to help us find these quarterbacks and look at the moves he's making. That, if anything, like, listen, he made all these trades. We have no Sauce Gardner. We have no Quinn Williams. Cisco is out. Garrett Wilson's out. And this team is still finding ways to score points and win games. Okay, that's called progress. The quarterback thing, I'm so not worried about right now. And the thing is, everybody's Mendoza's the guy for another 2 weeks. And if he bombs out on Saturday, whatever day they play, no, we don't need Mendoza. Now we need Dante Moore. Now we need this. Now we need that. Dude, the Jets have enough resources to get their quarterback. This organization right now seems like they have a plan. They know what they're doing, and they're going to carry it out. And they understand there's a need for it. But they also need a lot of other players too. This team is lacking a lot of talent. You need another wide receiver. You got to figure out your offensive line. What are you going to do there? You need another running back. Once Braylon Allen comes back, they look at defense. You need all kinds of help on defense, linebackers and safety, all kinds of stuff here. So the Jets right now are in a good position. Keep coaching them up. Keep seeing progress. And if you can answer a couple questions, like, you know what? Aaron Glenn seems like he knows what he's doing. Darren Muji seems like he knows what he's doing. Going into year two, That's a positive, man. That's what I'm looking for right now.
Yeah, and I think Muji showing the ability to be aggressive and make these in-season trades shows you that he will be willing to be aggressive if they like the quarterback enough to potentially move up, give up assets. For the basketball fans out there and the Nets fans, like when they had the 5 first-round picks, you don't have to use all 5 of those first-round picks. The Jets have 9 picks in the first 2 days of the next 2 drafts, 8 of those coming in the first 2 rounds, obviously the 5 first-round picks. So you can utilize those picks in a variety of different ways. You don't have to just pick with all of those. You can potentially move up. And I think that's so important is, listen, having a higher pick certainly gives you a better chance. But we always said it. We've said it on this show many times. It's not necessarily where you're drafting. It's who is making the pick.
Bingo.
And the process that is behind making that pick and trying to find that quarterback. I just want to go through the list here of these last couple of drafts, right? 2024, Caleb Williams was the number 1 overall pick. I know he's been better this year, but the 2 quarterbacks taken behind him, Jaden Daniels and Drake May. Drake May's the best, and he was the 3rd quarterback taken. 2023, Bryce Young was number 1. CJ Stroud was picked behind him at number 2. He's made the playoffs his first 2 years of his NFL career. 2021 was a complete disaster, right? We all want to tank for Trevor. Trevor's not a generational talent. Zach Wilson was a disaster at number 2. And you throw Fields in the mix too. He wasn't any good out of that draft class either. 2020 with Burrow, fine, number 1 overall pick. But Justin Herbert was the 6th pick. The Jets right now pick at number 7. Darnold was QB2. Baker was QB1. Josh Allen in that draft was QB3. Josh Rosen was drafted higher than Lamar Jackson. The Bills actually traded up for Josh Allen. They made the playoffs that year. That was the end of the drought with Tyrod. And then the Ravens traded back into the first to get Lamar, 32nd overall. Lamar was almost a day 2 pick. Trubisky was drafted QB1 in 2017. Mahomes was behind him. And, even you've seen some gems here in day 2. A guy like a Jalen Hurts who's picked in the 2nd round. And
Dak Prescott.
Yeah, Dak. Brock Purdy was Mr. Irrelevant, although I know he's, with Mac Jones over there and stuff. But you even just look at the playoff picture. All in the AFC and NFC, it's not just number 1 overall picks that are leading their teams or top 3 picks. I mean, Bo Nix was a 12th overall pick. Drake May was 3rd overall. Trevor Fine was 1st, but Lamar was 32nd. Herbert was a 6th overall pick. Josh Allen, they traded up for at number 7. Daniel Jones was a free agent. That's just in the AFC. When you look at the NFC, Stafford was a trade. Jalen Hurts was a 2nd round pick. Baker and Darnold were free agents. Jordan Love was taken 26th overall. So the point to all of this being is, let's not act like the number 1 overall pick. I mean, Cam Ward's, they're 1-11 right now. They're going to be a number 1 overall pick again. I'm not saying Cam Ward's not good, but let's not act like just number 1 overall pick. They're going to be great. Like, you can find quarterbacks in other spots. You could trade up. They have the assets to do so. So,
and that's the whole point. Like this comment here says Jets fans are very optimistic. We've been through a lot. Let's see what happens. No shit. Let's see what happens. What we're seeing is happening right now is the team is showing glimmers and glimpses of progress, and they have a ton of assets over the next 2 years to address a lot of problems, including the quarterback. The hope is that you're finding out right now is that this staff is the right staff to actually rebuild this team and maximize the potential of all your players, and you're starting to see that too. So they tried Justin Fields, didn't work out. To their credit, they found a Tyrod Taylor. You're seeing decent things out of Tyrod Taylor, and they're being competitive. This is all we've asked for. This whole season, they're supposed to be more than what we're seeing right now. They're literally on track to win the same amount of games we all predicted, 5. Yep. And that's what they're going to do. They didn't go out the right way, and you're even seeing things yesterday that pissed you off to no end. That 12 seconds left, the false start, I was ready to just break everything in my house. But all right, they seem like they're learning from their mistakes and they're growing. So this is the state of the Jets right now. And again, I understand the benefit of having a number 3 pick, your third pick of every round, and all these other things. I also see the benefit of actually winning with this team and getting the buy-in. The other aspect of this is and we're not easily satisfied. Get your head out of your ass, bro. It's understanding the state of the fucking team. We're not the Patriots. We're not the Ravens. We're not any of these good teams. We are one of the worst teams in football that is trying to find their way to rebuild to be better within 2 years to be competitive. That's what we're trying to do. That's really that's where we're at. And you're seeing it. Yeah,
nobody's throwing a parade for this. Nobody's saying the Jets are going to rattle off these next 5 games.
I'm telling you, dude, if the Jets would have lost this game yesterday, People
would be
like this
miserable.
guy right here have been like, dude, fire Aaron Glenn. He sucks.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what it is.
If they lose, it's fire Glenn. If it's win, it's being, too
Crazy.
positive, or, they blew the tank. They're not building this the right way because they're not tank, whatever. It would be, I guess they have to tie maybe in order for people to be satisfied with the outcome. But yeah, I'm not going to root against the coach that's coming back. I'm not going to root against the general manager that's coming back. You want to see these young players do well. You want to see this team win, learn how to win, have a sense of winning. I mean, at the end of the day, you change cultures by winning games. And I'm not trying to say that yesterday was a culture changing win, but you got to win football games to really change cultures. You've got to show improvement. Like that's going 1-16, 2-15, and getting the number 1 overall pick and having no faith in this GM and a head coach to make that pick and seeing nothing out of these young guys that we're seeing right now. Like I so much rather be in this spot than give me the 7th overall pick where you're seeing growth as opposed to the number 1 overall pick where you have no faith in them to make the correct decisions moving forward.
Yeah, and the thing is, like nobody likes being 3-9. Nobody likes being out of the playoffs right now. Nobody likes being irrelevant right now. So we have to embrace to stay the team and find out. You find the positive, you find the negative, and you say, do we have any hope for the future? Is there any chance it's getting rebuilt? Do we have the right decision makers in place that can actually find the right quarterback and everything else? Can these guys be coached up or can they not? I mean, look at what this team is playing with right now. It's not like there's a stockpile of talent. If you had told anybody you're going to a game with friggin', no Braille now and no Garrett Wilson, oh, dude, how are we going to complete a pass? Now you have A.D. Mitchell looking like he could be a find right now. That's a positive. Maybe use Mason Taylor more, but there's little things you got to kind of like, why be a fan if you're going to hate everything? Like, that's what I understand. Like, did you want A.D. Mitchell to drop 5 passes yesterday? Does that make yourself feel better? Oh, well, the Jets lost and A.D. Mitchell dropped 5 passes. Does that make you feel better? Are you proud of that? Like, I don't understand this mindset. Like, what are you pretty proud of? Dude, they're 3-9, dude. I'm not buying tickets to games, but at least I can give credit where it's due and say, you know what? I can kind of see a vision here. I can kind of see where this is going, that there is a chance to turn this around after we gave everybody else a chance. Saleh, Joe Douglas, all these other fucking people. I'm giving this staff the same chance because slowly but surely they're earning it. Yeah, they are. It's you're spot on. And even just one other note that I want to kind of throw in there. We talked a little bit about last week how it wasn't a great game for Tanner Engstrand. I thought he bounced back actually pretty nicely, especially early in the game where now it wasn't all perfect, but they had the couple receptions right away to Mason Taylor early in the game, which I thought was good. And they utilized Breece Hall so much more yesterday. He played 58 of the 66 snaps, which was 88%. 12 of those came on 3rd down, which was a week after he only played 2 on 3rd down. Game, though, for whatever. He can't get any targets in the passing game. Yeah, he can't. Ridiculous. But one of the bigger knocks with Engstrand has been the lack of utilizing him, not seeing him on the field much of 3rd down and 4th down. Because last week, right, he had the 4th and 2. He wasn't on the field. So seeing him on the field more was also good to see just in terms of, evaluating what this offense is. They've still got to use him more in the pass game. I totally agree. But there's been a lot of late downs this year, 3rd and 4th down where he hasn't been on the field. It feels like that's starting to change a bit, hopefully, with his play yesterday. There's a lot of different things to listen, I understand all this, but some of these reactions today are just, so we have a celebrity in our studio. I don't know how this guy I literally asked to do a collab with 45 times. And I get, man, I'll get back to you, bro. I'll get back to you, bro. So I'm like, I knew where I fucking stand. So I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm not fucking Jake Aspirin, these guys. I'm just some little old fucking YouTuber over here. What's up, man? How you been?
Dude, you've been doing this longer than me, man.
Yeah, I tried to just reach out. I'm like, hey, man, Bubs, he wanted nothing to do with me. He's like, you know what? You're too negative. You're too positive during a tank season. Yeah, it is.
I know. I'm bad with collabs. Yeah, Ian can tell you that. It takes me and Ian 60 messages to do one video together every year. But I'm always listening to your show, man. I've been listening to your show for years back when it was you and Kev started it. So always been a fan, dude. Appreciate what you do.
So dude, I love your content's amazing, man. You took off and just skyrocketed. You're doing awesome with it. So what is your take on this? You got a tank game, or are you the Victory Monday? Are you celebrating Victory Monday, or you're not?
So I gotta tell you that field goal, whether it went in or out, man, I was pretty ready to live with either result. But I was definitely happy for the players, seeing them. I can't in real time root for bad things to happen during Jet games. It's so hard to do that. I only did that one time, and that was for Trevor Lawrence, and it didn't even work. So I kind of made a vow to never really root for the tank again. But the thing is, the Jets are just not the worst team in the NFL. Some of those teams down there are so bad. The Titans, like in terms of net points, the gap between the Titans and the Jets is the same as the gap between the Jets and the Bears. Like the Titans are horrific. You're never going to out tank that. And this is without AVT, Garrett, Sauce, Quinnen. So, and you could say like, oh, they're only winning games because of fluky special teams plays, which, okay, the special teams is playing awesome. You'd rather it be offense and defense. But like when in the beginning of the year, they lost the game because of a Xavier Gibson fumble. And remember, Isaiah Williams had the fumble in Miami and he caught a punt on his own 4-yard line. And me and you are on here saying this is ridiculous. How could Gibson be on the team? We're criticizing these things, right? Isaiah Williams. Remember, Isaiah Williams was like the worst special teamer ever, and now he's like the best returner in the league. So if we were criticizing it then, you have to give credit where it's due. 100%. Chris Banjo has that unit rolling. So at the end of the day, the Jets go all in and they win 5 games, and now they tank and they're probably going to win 5 games again, man. It's crazy.
But I think the big thing that we heard yesterday, I'm sure you heard it too, is now the Jets can't get their quarterback. Now they're completely screwed. They're not going to get Mendoza. They're not going to get this. And I'm like, there's so many different ways you can get a quarterback. You can trade up. You can stay in your place. You can trade for a veteran. All these different things. I'm like, what is your take on that? Do you have any fear the Jets aren't going to find their guy? Because I think between draft resources and cap space, they can do pretty much whatever they want.
Yeah, I think that was kind of the idea, to give themselves options when they made those trades. Now, you could say, well, these wins are costing you the pick, so you'd have to come up, but the wins were going to be there regardless. So at least it gives them options. There's not a quarterback in this class that I'm dying to give up a huge haul for. So I know it would kind of suck to have to do another bridge year with a QB, but at least if we're getting games like this where we're watching actual football and you see a team that can maybe win like, I don't know, 7 or 8 games and be a normal team with a bridge QB, because teams do that. And then you stick the quarterback in there.
Yep.
The way I see it, you have like 5 first-round picks the next 2 years. So one of them has got to be a QB, right? However they want to do it.
Yeah. And the thing is too, is like so many times the Jets got the quarterback and then built the team up. If they do it kind of the opposite way, where you build the team up, build your foundation, and then add the quarterback, is that necessarily a bad thing? That may actually be a smart way to handle things.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the teams that have been the best in our conference the past 5 years, they're not having their A game this season, but the Chiefs, the Bills, and the Ravens, they got Mahomes, Allen, and Lamar all seasons after they made the playoffs. Yep. And with Mahomes and Allen, they both made trade ups, and with Allen, I think it was Tyrod the year before they made the playoffs. So you could do it more than one way. The Bengals are I think the only team I can think of that really just completely sucked with that regime and got that number 1 pick, and it kind of worked out for them with Burrow. But I don't think Mendoza is Burrow, so you'd probably rather have. I think the team and the infrastructure is probably more important than what quarterback you take most of the time, unless it's an Andrew Luck or like Zach Wilson, like really awesome or terrible. But most of these guys are in the middle. Like Bo Nix, if the Jets took Bo Nix a couple years ago, he would have been horrible. Like if you put Bo Nix with Nate Hackett. So those guys in the middle, it depends on your coaching and your team. So we'll see how it goes, man.
What are your thoughts on Aaron Glenn so far? He had a rough start with so many different levels of his coaching and game management and handling of the media, and it seems like he's kind of finding his way now. He's gotten into his rhythm where he's handling things better. His game manager's a little bit better, except for yesterday kind of pissed me off a little bit. But it seems like he's learning on the fly, which, of course, that's what you're going to do as a first-time head coach. But I think you're starting to see a lot of positive. You're starting to see a blueprint, too, the kind of player he wants, which I like a lot, the hard-nosed, physical, tenacious style. Like, what are your thoughts on him so far?
Well, I mean, I was with 0-7, man. I was sweating a little bit. I was like, "Oh, geez, man! Like, it was looking pretty rough." And he was all agitated with the media. Some lady asked a question. He was like, "Shut up!" And it's like, dude, like, but now he's kind of found his rhythm at the podium too. Like, he's kind of just answering normal questions, and the PR side's been better. But I will say this: like, I think the team isn't soft, because there were some moments like Dallas where I'm like, "Oh, they just laid down and died." But since then, they're not really a soft team, and I think, at least my opinion, the really dumb penalties, the McCrary ball fish celebration aside, I think the really dumb penalties that haunted Salah have been improved. I don't think they're as soft. I think they've shown a little bit more resiliency, so I like to see it. And I think Engstrand has shown some chops. Like there was a possession, they didn't even score a touchdown because the players messed it up, but there was a play where Tyrod comes out on a boot, Mason Taylor wide open, but Tyrod doesn't pull the trigger. Then the following play, Mechie wide open on a crosser, drops it. But I'm like, those are two plays where the coordinator opens up wide open passes that you see all over the league every game, like just wide open play action, boom. Oh, we're going to do a rub route, boom. The guy's wide open where you know exactly where you're going to go with the ball. Now the players didn't connect on it, but Engstrand at least has shown like, oh, you're doing like some modern NFL offense stuff that like other teams are kind of doing, which is a low bar, but we were under that for a minute with Hackett and Downing.
No, and that's like we're becoming almost an NFL offense for once. Like it's
almost
we're getting little baby steps. Like probably use more screen passes and things, but like you're sitting there.
50+ yard touchdown was nice to see them stretch the field a bit with the AD Mitchell play.
And Tyrod's holding his shoulder like, holy shit, I threw the ball too far. No, but like overall, it's like it's a rebuild season that you're trying to figure out what you have, and you're seeing little things. So what do you want to see for the rest of the season, man? Like I think the best part of this is all these young guys are getting a significant amount of reps. Like, you know, like AZ Thomas, Malachi Moore, Olu, Membu, they're playing a ton of playing time, which is great because now it's like you're building up your resume and your memory bank for next year. Listen, we know what the NFL is like. We're getting the speed of the game and all, like we know we got to work on in the off season, which is great. What do you want to see for the rest of the season?
Well, now I can openly root for them beating the Dolphins because now that you're not getting a top 2 pick, like they're 0-7 against Tua, they got to fix that. You have to win one divisional game this year. You have to beat Tua, and you want the wins to come in ways that give you hope for next year. So guys like AD Mitchell and Mechie, and it's I don't know, maybe it's you get podcast brain just thinking about the team too much, but I really do think that the trades for Briggs, Mechie, Mitchell, Brownlee, like if they didn't do those, I think the vibes around the regime would be a lot worse because they just found like 5 NFL players who could be starters for absolutely nothing. And now those are spots where you don't have to spend draft picks next year. So especially with AD Mitchell, like that's because he looked like a start. He looked like a legit wide receiver 2 next year, not yesterday. Now I'm not saying you don't need to draft one or all that, but all of a sudden when we had nothing in the receiver room besides Garrett, you go ahead and you draft a kid at the top of the second round to pair with Mitchell, and that's your top 3. And Mechie is your 4 possession receiver, and now Arian Smith is your 5 as a burner. In his second year, you got Mason Taylor, probably another tight end. You got Brees Hall, you got a good offensive line. I mean, dude, Sam Darnold would have killed for that. You know what I mean? Like, 100%. So that's not a bad. It's not a bad situation. Offensively, they're not a very talented team, but at the same time, you look at offensively, they're not that far away from putting a good situation around a young QB. They're really not.
So if you had to guess right now, this is a hard question. On December 1st, who would you predict to be the Jets quarterback next year? Who do you think it's going to be?
Well, Aaron Rodgers is a free agent, right? He come back.
See, he's already throwing players under the bus again.
Dude, I think the day one starter is probably going to be Tyrod again, because maybe if they draft a rookie, I think Tyrod, if he can finish this season healthy, maybe he's back at the bridge, because the free agent options are horrible. That's why people are talking about trading picks for Mac Jones, which they should not do, in my opinion. But I'll say Tyrod is the week one starter, and I don't know, man. I don't think they're going to trade up to a number one pick. So I don't know if they're going to come away with a round one quarterback. I got to be honest. So it might be like a Tyrod and Marcus Mariota situation that we're going to have to grin and bear it for one more year, because if the guy ain't there, you can't draft him. And if Simpson and Moore go back to school, it's a 1 QB class. And I think it might be too expensive. So we'll see. Hopefully more guys come out, so it gives them more options. But if it's just Mendoza, they're probably not going to be a Jet.
No, Bubs, you got any questions, man? I kind of hogged all this.
No, it was good. Yeah, I mean, I just to add on with I think what I've liked about Muji is with the Phillips, the Briggs, and the Brownlee trade, those were late round pick swaps. And to me, Phillips, Briggs, and Brownlee are more valuable than what you probably would have gotten with those 6th and 7th round picks. So that's another way I like that, they've attacked it. And obviously the Mechie trade was in the Michael Carter deal. And Brownlee took over Michael Carter's job. So that was kind of an in-season replacement you got there. So I agree with a lot of what he said. And I feel kind of similar with the quarterback. I could see it being another
gonna be a
Tyrod,
veteran.
Mariota,
Yep.
one of them.
Yep.
Although I
I
will
can see
say
it.
did you hear the Jonathan Vilma first round pick for Mac Jones take on the broadcast yesterday? That was
But the thing is, like,
something.
what I don't understand is if you're the 49ers, why would you trade Mac Jones and Brock Purdy's always hurt? You have your
Right.
perfect insurance policy.
Yeah.
Like, to me, it doesn't make any sense. Like, you have to overwhelm the 49ers to get, like, am I missing something with that? Like, why would they get rid of Mac Jones? Like, doesn't make any sense to me.
No, I mean, and all these guys like Brissett or Mills, like those guys are valuable players to those teams. Like the Davis Mills kept the Texans season alive. Mac Jones, same thing. So they would probably want like a day 2 pick. And if you're the Jets, like they have to stop spending a lot of resources on these stopgap quarterbacks because they're going to be paying Rodgers and Fields like a gazillion dollars next year to not be on the team. So if you're going to have a bridge guy, just have it be a cheap bridge guy. Like enough's enough with that.
So, Mr. Buffalo Jet fan, everybody knows who you are, but share all your information, man. This is an honor. You can listen, Bubs. Like literally 2 years trying to get a hold of this guy. So to get in tonight is just like this is incredible.
If it makes you feel any better, Tyson, I don't talk to a lot of people, man. I just come up. I don't have like scheduled times and stuff, so I'm trying to be better about that. But yeah, man, Buffalo Jet fan, YouTube, Twitter, go live. We talk about the Jets most of the time. It's fun and chill.
You have the longest tweets of any person I know. Like I start reading them, like holy shit! I think I'm getting smarter, but I think I'm getting tired too because they're so long. It's like the long ones, like holy shit, like 5 paragraphs.
Yeah, I abuse my $3 a month Twitter Blue Premium to post some articles on X sometimes about like Galaxy branding a 2-10 football team or whatever during my lunch break, like a normal person would do, right?
So wait, do you have snow right now?
Yeah, we got like 3 or so inches on the ground.
Oh, I can't.
It's just a persistent, like every day. It's like it just keeps going. It keeps going, and then one day it'll be like 3 feet.
Oh, I can't do it. I just can't do it. Thanks for calling in, man. Great talking to you, man.
Appreciate you guys, man. Have a good one.
You too. Take care. So we go from an educated caller, a very smart, intelligent, great YouTuber, to
Hey guys,
Hey,
Happy
What's
Victory
going
Monday,
on?
Steve.
how's it going?
how you doing? What's going on?
How are you doing, man?
Oh, hang on. Is my mic working? Hang on.
You're fine,
Do
dude.
you guys hear me?
We hear you're fine.
Hang on 1 second.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Hello? What the hell's going on? My mic's not working.
It's working.
Hang on 1 second. I don't know why my mic's working.
What are we doing here? This is why this.
Hang on 1 second. What
This is
the hell's going on?
We just had like great call. Everything
Great
was
insight.
fine.
Good analysis.
Hang on. I can't. Hang on 1 second. Something's going on.
Take your time, man. We only have, we got all night here to sit here and wait for you to figure this out. No big deal.
Everything was working. Hang on.
No problem. This is not a joke, man. This is...
Oh, we lost him.
What are
Oh,
we doing? Now we can't even hear him
Can you
talk.
guys hear me?
We can hear you. And now- This is just we can't have nice things. Buffalo Jet fan comes on, drops all this knowledge, and then we get Steve fucking things up. Oh my God, it just never fails. Holy shit. What's up, man? Cautiously optimistic. Oh God, if you can't see, if you
Hey
can't hear
guys,
us,
no, I'm here.
I say if you can't hear us, I give up.
I'm actually moving where I'm sitting, so I'm in a more light because long
Oh,
story.
there you go.
My dining room table. It's much better. You usually don't call on me this early. Usually I'm on, towards the wee hours.
What kind of birds are in that cage?
He's a lovebird. Name is
lovebird?
Charlie. And he's
Had to
when
make
it
a
gets
quick,
really badly, he lets me know about it. He gives me all the sound. He does this chish chish sound when he's not happy. He does that a lot during Jets games. He's very smart.
As long as he doesn't curse and yell, you're fine.
Well, we used to have a full size parrot, and it was an Amazon, a yellow-naped Amazon, and he was like, forget it. He loved watching football, and every time my son and I'd be watching, and the Jets would screw up, and we'd be like either cursing or laughing
Yep.
our asses off or something like that, and the bird loved it. He just go,
Yep.
he'd be,
Yep.
and he was
We
green.
had
So, you
my
know.
friend has a parrot, and this was years ago. And like we just we'd have like barbecues like that and watch football. And he learned like all kinds of words. He used to ring the phone like literally sound just like the phone ring. And all of a
Oh
sudden we're
yeah, they
sitting.
can be. They did some of them like the
Yeah, and then one day we're
African
sitting there,
grave.
we're having a barbecue. All of a sudden he goes, "Bullshit!" We're like, "No way!" Like, and like that, you don't want, because now it's like it got to the point we had to put a sheet over his cage because
Yep.
you have people over. He starts yelling at him like, "Bullshit, bullshit!" And ringing the phone. It's like, oh my god, yeah, they're smart. They're really
They
smart.
are smart, and they'll do things like imitate a smoke detector.
Yeah,
They'll imitate one part, like two people, a married couple. They'll imitate one or the other calling the other one.
yep,
I mean, they'll do any kind of thing. Or the dogs, they'll call the dog and drive them nuts.
yeah. It's the sound, like the phone literally sound like a phone. You're like, what the
They
hell
have
is
the
that?
intelligence, supposedly have an intelligence of a 6-year-old. I mean, which means they may be past a lot of Jets fans, but they're they're very, very smart. And they also know how to use language. I mean, there's a lot of things with them, but wow.
I think we could put the parrot versus Gangrene Steve. It'd be kind of interesting.
Who can get the audio working first?
So what did you think about the game, man? Are you buying all this tank anger or no?
No, you know what? No. And look, I watched it. Was it a great game? You know, it had a mixture of things. I mean, obviously, Atlanta's not the greatest team in the world. It's not like you're playing it, but they won it. And this was a game that they've been losing. They've been losing games to bad teams and blowing it themselves. So the fact that they won, I mean, that Folk field goal was just too much. I mean, that was just such a Jets thing, you know. He comes in there and he makes it just barely. It pops over the line. I didn't care. It was great.
Well, the Jets thing is to get that fucking false start. Is the Jets thing where you're
Yeah.
like 12
Yeah.
seconds left, don't blow this. The false start. I'm like, this is typical Jets. Now he'll come up like 2 yards short on the field goal, and that'll be some things never change.
But it was good. I mean, the thing that I'm saying here is that listening to all this stuff and listening to what you've said, the tanking, I understand it because, yeah, everybody thinks Mendoza or whoever, you got the number one pick, you get the number one quarterback, he's going to come here and fly. Mendoza is not that good a quarterback. He's not bad. Don't get me wrong. He's a good college quarterback, but he's playing in a spread offense. He's been playing against defenses that are not necessarily the greatest. That's why his OSU game is going to be really interesting. This could make or break his draft. And they've got a tough defense, and they're playing almost a pro-level defense. Theirs is as good or better than even what Alabama's had over the years.
Yeah.
With Patricia running it, he may be a lot of things as a head coach, but he's a great DC. And he's got those kids playing.
Well, and this is a big game for Mendoza, but the also thing is something that Buffalo Jet fans said, I completely agree with. This could be a one quarterback class. If Simpson and Dante Moore go back to school, like I'm out of the first round. You're in the second round, like later on, like, which makes this a lot more interesting. Like, I'm not mortgaging my draft for Mendoza. I'm just not.
It doesn't make any look. Even if Mendoza, let's say Mendoza is the only quarterback in the draft, the rough equivalent I would give is he's probably I'm not even saying he's good, bad, or indifferent. He's the equivalent of Cam Ward this year. Mm-hmm. There literally was nobody else. I mean, people say Jackson Dart. Dart was supposed to have been a 3rd or 4th round quarterback.
Yeah.
He was not supposed to be a 1st round quarterback. The Giants took a leap of faith on him, and it looks like they paid off. Despite throwing a 94-yard pick 6 tonight. But I mean,
I just saw that.
That was a classic, but he's a kid. I mean, you expect this kind of crap. He threw it in the coverage. But the point is that he's, you know, there's quarterbacks there. There's nothing to stop the Jets. If they see somebody out there they think has promise, take a name, take anybody you want that's going to be in this draft.
Yep.
And they could sit back and say, you know what, we really like the guy. He's going to fit our system. Engstrand says he's going to fit my system. Then they might go for it. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that because it's a deeper round pick. You're not taking your first. With that first, they could do a lot. They could get a wide receiver 1. They could theoretically, depending where they are, trade back, but it depends on who wants to trade up. They could trade back possibly and get a lot of picks. They've got a lot of freedom with that.
Yep.
If there was a quarterback that was there like Andrew Luck, I'd be sitting back there saying, you know what? Yeah, go for it. But I think I also learned my lesson with Trevor Lawrence.
True.
I mean, Trevor Lawrence is basically a good quarterback, and I don't think he's going to be much more than that. He's not going to be an elite quarterback. He hasn't been able to do it under Peterson. He hasn't been able to do it under whatchamacallit, Cohen. I don't think he's that good.
Well, the other thing I think is the Jets worrying about building their team, building their organization, building a structure, like a system that you can plug and play your quarterback and you're going to have success. instead of the other way. Like, we got to get the quarterback and then build around them and figure it out. Like, no, you don't really have to do that.
Well, there's the thing
How
too.
many times have we tried that? It didn't work.
You can have a balanced team. The other point is, I mean, there's a lot of ways to build a winning team. Philadelphia is an example of building a balanced team. Hurts, is he the greatest quarterback in history? No, but he doesn't have to be. He does not have to be Patrick Mahomes because they had a good defense there. They had a great running game. They had good special teams. They have a balanced team.
Yep.
There are times when a quarterback can go in there and make the difference in a team. There were years when New England's team wasn't that good and Brady carried them.
Yep.
I mean, literally. Rodgers did it. So did Manning. There are times when they carried a team where the rest of it wasn't so hot, but they could go up there and put 35, 40 points.
But you already had the program in place, though. You already had your system in place, though. That's the difference.
Well, I'm just saying, I mean, they could do that because they were that good.
Yep.
Those guys were head and shoulders, but do you need a quarterback like that? Not necessarily. And if you've got a good balanced team, if you've got great talent, if you've got a defense that's, a top 10 defense, great special teams, if you've put the whole system together and they don't make mistakes and the play handling, the game management is good, where you're not making stupid mistakes, like going for it on fourth down when you don't have to, you can do a lot. You can win like that. Now, conversely, the only thing, my concerns with Glenn, and maybe it's just my own bias, and it probably is, I worry because I'm thinking of like Parcells with Phil Simms. Phil Simms was a good quarterback. He wasn't, despite what he thinks, he wasn't a great quarterback.
Right.
He was a good, solid quarterback. Of course, they had a lights-out defense. He had a lot of tough players around him, good running backs. He had all that. In the modern NFL, will a quarterback like him be able to win? I don't know. And that's the only thing you can kind of underplay the quarterback where you think he can do it.
Yeah, but Glenn saw firsthand what Jared Goff could do, though. I think Glenn's seen enough throughout all the different teams he's been with. He's been with the Saints. He's been around a little bit, so he's seen the different quarterbacks that go in games with.
As long as he understands that, as long as he understands in the modern game, you can't get by with ground and pound. You can do that, like he was talking about doing that with Justin Fields. That's a stopgap.
Well, but to be honest with you, it seemed like Justin Fields was the wrong fit for their offense. Like I think they had a vision for him. Like, he can't run our offense. Like that was the problem.
Well, one of the problem. The thing I don't understand is, and there was a real miscommunication there, because obviously they took Justin Fields. The idea was, he himself said it. Glenn said that they took Fields and he said, I want to expect him to play more quarterback. He openly said that, basically playing pocket passer more.
Yeah.
That he didn't want a guy on first read running it. Okay, that's great. But the thing was, Fields couldn't handle it. Now, did they evaluate him wrong? Did they think that, I don't know where they got the idea he could run it. And I don't know why Engstrand thought if his idea was Jared Goff, Fields is about a far remove from Jared Goff. I mean, he's not Lamar Jackson. He's not Josh Allen. Josh Allen could run Engstrand's offense because he can throw.
Yeah.
So can Lamar. I mean, despite what people think, he can. He's got the ability to be that pocket passer when he needs to be. He can run when he needs to. And I think that you kind of saw that if you watched Tyrod, what he was doing. I mean, Engstrand's not calling a big game. He's not calling, this is not an Andy Reid offense, but he was calling more of it. If you watch, Tyrod was able to do it. Is he able to do it? I was laughing when you said he threw the ball downfield. He was holding his shoulder and looking for his tuba Bengay. Well, guess what? He was,
But that's a pass Justin Fields couldn't complete.
No,
we saw several passes yesterday. Fields cannot consistently complete.
Fields has an arm. The funny part is he's got a strong arm, but he's inconsistent as hell. Occasionally he'll throw one downfield and get it to work. Yeah, the one he hit on the goal line, that's because the defender fell down. He was playing catch. But he does. But he just couldn't put it in context. Tyrod could, even though he's not. Tyrod is not a starting level quarterback. We knew that. He might be a good bridge quarterback. I agree with you, Bubs. He could be, if he can hold up.
Yeah. Not to cut you off, but I agree. I mean, Fields, he could run it at a competent, or Tyrod, excuse me, could run it at a competent NFL level. The biggest thing has just been the durability, and that was the biggest thing with Fields too. It's just his processing. He'd hold on for the football for ages, and then if the running lane wasn't there, pocket collapse, he'd take the sack. But it's just, I think they thought that, take a flyer on Fields, give him a chance. It didn't work. You move on. Just thinking about potential bridge quarterbacks, like if you want to go a little bit of the younger route, pair him with like a Tyrod. You could even look at Tanner McKee. That's a name, of course, out of Philly that a lot of people talk about.
Malik Willis.
Yeah, any of those guys, like if you wanted,
I wouldn't
no,
touch Malik Wallace. I saw him play in college, man. He's
Gardner
again,
Minshew. Gardner Minshew's only 29.
it's something with age, though. I mean, the level, it depends on what you're looking for. Can these
Yeah.
guys, the question comes in, and you hit the nail on the head, too, because originally we said, well, next year has to be playoffs. Now I'm looking like, no, it's not going to be.
Nope.
Right. But you want to have a team that's competitive. We can't have a 3 or 4 win game team next year. We can't have what we've had this year because there's no excuses for that.
Yeah, but
We'll
I think the quarterback you need has to be similar to Tyrod, but you need to be a tough quarterback, a hard worker, high character, mobile, like you can kind of see like you need that leadership kind of guy. Like I saw the one mentioned in the chat about Vinny Testaverde, who they got as a free agent. Vinny was that guy. He was big, he was leader. He was respected by everybody. It was like there was no shit. He can make all the throws, made some mistakes, but like that's the kind of guy. You can't have a complete like Justin Fields is unplayable. You can't even get him on the field anymore.
Well, there's two. I mean, again, with backups, you look at because we have the carousel of quarterbacks, right?
Yep.
So leaving out the fact that they find a gem of a rookie that they can start early because the guy turns out to be pretty good, it's not likely. So let's get a bridge quarterback. Tyrod could be one, but like who you look at it out there and you say, who could it be? I don't know about McGee. I've never really seen him play.
Yep.
When Hurts was injured, so I don't know how good he is. And the other thing about that is that's in Philadelphia's system. They have, I mean, they've got a great defense, great offense, great offensive line, maybe not as good as it was last year. Good running game. I mean, they had all the pieces. So you can plug a lot of quarterbacks. But the good part about that is maybe he could do it. If the Jets are much improved next year, we're getting there.
I want
if they
Jalen
can patch
Hurts.
the defense. If they can patch the defense, if they can fix a couple of key spots there, and this assumes the scheme works too, and I'm still not sold on Wilkes. The offense, you need a receiver. You need you may need some more backup on offensive line. I don't know what they're going to do with Simpson because he was pretty good last year. This year, he's made a lot of mistakes.
He's good for like 2 penalties a game at this point.
He's been, bad. Also, the question is, what are you going to do? Are you going to try to bring back ABT and put Tippmann at center, or are you going to keep Tippmann in guard, let ABT go, and draft a center, or find one? One or the other.
Dude, we got a ton of people on hold, man. Thank you for calling in. Thank you for killing the tank guy. We appreciate it, man.
You got it.
Have a good night.
Have a good one.
All right. So now, do you want to do? I'm gonna give you 2 choices. Do you want to do Steve 2.0, or do you want to do Tank Man?
Let's try Steve. Give Steve another shot.
So now, I was ready to bring Steve on, and he just lost his connection.
Okay, so
What are you doing? What is he doing? I don't understand. We're trying to have the show here, Steve, and you can't get your shit together. And this is his highlight. He loves every Victory Monday. By 5:30 in the morning, he's sending me messages. Bro, look, dude, you can't talk Sunday afternoon like a normal person. It's got to be 5:30 in the morning on a fucking Monday. He contacts me. I bring him on the show now, and he can't get his sound right. What now, man?
You're choosing Steve over me.
Look, that's him.
I had to give him another chance.
You come on here looking like Todd Bowles in your little hat.
He does look like Todd Bowles.
And you come and you choose Steve.
It's beanie season all season, as the great Mike Williams once said.
So it's kind of over. I mean, you all know how I feel regarding things. I'm not gonna come on here and do like a little I can't believe this team. I'm not gonna do that. But I'm a little upset by that. I mean, I knew they were gonna win eventually. This team's not Titans level bad. Not that, I mean, when Nick Folk came out there, I was kind of rooting for him to make the field goal just because it's Nick Folk. I mean, you gotta go with that. That's too good of a story.
Of course.
But I mean, man, I don't know. I'm on here trying to figure out what the big miracle strategy is here going forward, because we need a quarterback.
But why do you need a miracle? You have 5 first-round picks in the next 2 years. You got a ton of cap space. Why do you need miracles?
So is the plan just to punt and just not do anything next year, but just hope that we get in a position to draft another quarterback in next year?
First of all, you gotta assess who your quarterbacks are. If these guys go back to school, your options are much more limited. I'm not going to reach and panic, but you know what? Because we think we need a quarterback, let me draft this guy now because there's nobody else out there. You got to go what's out there. If you have to pivot to a veteran quarterback, okay. And you take one the second year. It's not like this isn't like we have to have this rookie by next year or we're failed. No, it's not the case at all.
Yeah, but I just don't see quarterbacks out there that are out there in the market that are gonna give us a competitive or not. I'm not saying Super Bowl, but I'm just saying like even like an 8-win team. I just don't see who's gonna go out there and have that. I mean, Mac Jones, but he's not going anywhere.
Okay.
Like, I just don't think with the options available that like next year.
I mean, teams are winning with Joe Flacco. It comes down to your team, your
Flacco's
offense, and
elite.
everything else. But teams all across the NFL are finding ways
He's
to
a
win
free
games,
agent.
man. Like it's having the right program, having the right playmakers, all that stuff. It can't be like, well, no Mendoza, we're screwed now. I'm not buying that, man. I'm just not.
I mean, people like to say my biggest thing that's like my pet peeve right now is people say, "Oh, we don't need draft picks. Draft picks are lottery tickets." Like,
But I never said that.
no, I'm
But
not saying you know. I never said you said that.
But I'm saying you can maximize your draft picks instead of reaching for a quarterback. You can get an elite tight or elite wide receiver, an elite edge rusher in the first round, 2 enormous holes, or like whatever, however you want to handle it. Okay, fine. This team's not one player away. You're not one. If we get Mendoza, we're going to the Super Bowl next year. No, we have a lot of holes. You need a lot of players on this team.
I mean, it's a good quarterback. I understand like not wanting to reach for one, but we're just not in a good position now. And it's not even that like,
How are we not in a good position?
We're not in a good position I'm saying of this year to get a quarterback, I guess is what I was trying to say. But like, again,
but the Jets were never going to have number 1 pick anyway. Nobody in their right mind this year said we're going to win 1 game this year. We all said 5 or 6.
No, the Titans are generationally bad. We were never going to catch up to the Titans.
Exactly.
But if you got to a point where it's close, maybe if you trade up a little from 3 to 1, it's not as bad versus going from like 8. Like, that's not going to happen. We're not going to mortgage our entire future for Mendoza. Like, I mean, he's not at that level. So it's just kind of, you come on here, you're a little defeated. I mean, I'm a little defeated is what I'm trying to say. Fans of the tank, the collective we, the royal we. And I mean, going forward, the one positive is that like, yeah, they do look like they're improving and that they're getting better and that like you see they're more competitive in the games. I mean, there's some stupid penalties. I won't even talk about that false start on the first attempt to get a field goal, but whatever that was. But I mean, yeah, again, if the hope with the tank was that you find something that kind of energizes the team and gets it forward, that like maybe you can make a run in like 2 years. Not saying that you can't, but like now it's more of a long term. You kind of have to dig into the trenches. That's my opinion. I don't think you're going to find so. I think it's like going back to the coaching debate of like, oh, well, now we're hoping for Jalen Hurts. It's like Bill Cowher all over again. Oh, well, if Coach Cowher, if he comes out of retirement, Mike Tomlin, like we're just back to this, like we're just naming people that aren't going to happen because it's the Jets and we don't get that.
How do you know it's not going to happen? We don't know. It's fucking December 1st.
Because it hasn't happened for the last 15 years. Why is it going to happen?
The Eagles are complete chaos right now with their offense. They're a complete mess.
And the Ravens are kind of a mess. They look bad. They're not going to give up Lamar Jackson. I mean, it's not
a different situation, man. Eagles are different with Hurts, but no, but there's options every year. The Jets got to be creative and find one. I'm not all doom and gloom today. I'm not. The Jets are going to probably win 2 more games. It's not going to bother me 1 ounce.
Yeah, they're probably going to beat the Saints, and I don't know.
Beat the Dolphins. I want them to beat the Dolphins. I'm actually rooting for it.
I mean, at this point, yeah, why not? I mean, if we're now,
you got to cheer up. Dude.
You know what would be nice? You know what would be nice for tank or no tank, but last week of the season to beat the Bills to take them out of the playoffs. A little revenge for
last game in Orchard Park.
Yeah,
I'm down for that too.
Get a little
Tyson
revenge.
Said he's going
to go. Oh, Giants going to score a touchdown right now. Look at that.
Channeling my inner
Bulls. Well, Tank man, I'm sorry you're disappointed today, but
we're going to regroup.
Better days are ahead.
I think it's over. I think you just got to start rooting for wins now so the team can get better.
Almost like what fans do. It's pretty wild, right?
Yeah, like you in 2020, rooting for wins.
Bro, but dude, we wanted to lose as many games possible to get Gase fired. We wanted this house.
Oh, that was the reason.
Yeah, wasn't it though?
Oh, because if we went 1-15, if we beat the Rams, Gase would have kept his job.
No, but I'm saying we had a goal, but the whole goal was get the quarterback, get the coach out of here, and we all move on. Much different situation right now.
It is. I'll give you that. It is because Glenn is here, whether we like it or not.
Also, The
And I-
2020 draft, like Trevor Lawrence at the time was a legitimate home run.
Yeah.
You know, Mendoza's not that. I mean, people were putting
Yeah,
Trevor up there
I'll
with
give you that.
the
That's fair.
Andrew Luck hype.
Tank Man's defeated tonight. Have a good night, man.
Well, good night, guys.
Have a good one.
You can tell he's defeated. What's up, man? How you doing?
What's up, guys? Happy
going?
belated Thanksgiving.
Yes, you too.
I would make the argument. Everyone goes back to this like Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson deal, and the Rams win. I would argue that Trevor Lawrence is a worse pick than Zach Wilson. And I would stand by that because at least with Zach Wilson, after 3 years that this is not the guy. With a guy like Trevor Lawrence, they drag you around, they get the second contract, and then you're stuck in this purgatory hell of Andy Dalton where you just meddle in mediocrity for 10 years. And you look around, you go, we're paying this guy $250 million and we can't build a team.
Yeah.
And Bubs, I'll push back on you a little bit here. Like Trevor Lawrence was never the Andrew Luck, like I think people wanted it from him because he had the physical prototypes, but like, and he had good college production, but there were GMs who put Zach Wilson ahead of Trevor Lawrence in that class, and that would never happen with a Luck. You see a lot from these young kids too that want to tank for a draft pick. Ultimately, none of this matters, right? Like if you know what you're doing, you can find a quarterback all up and down the first round. Like Jackson Dart was late 20s. Aaron Rodgers was late 20s. Tom Brady's and all of that. Those are lottery Jordan Love. Like if you know what you're doing, you can do it. And this draft class is not going to be particularly strong up top. I'm certainly not bought into Fernando Mendoza as like a franchise guy.
Nope.
I think it would kind of be a blessing to be picking, maybe middle later in the top 10. Because you can kind of round out the roster. And I think ideally you want to get another good big wide receiver, offensive line.
You can go best player available if you wanted to.
Best player available.
Yeah.
I think you can add another tight end. Like you're seeing all these teams now running 12 personnel. Like I like Mason Taylor, but why don't you go get another stud? That kid from Oregon, like go get him. And
beast, dude.
He's a monster, man. He's only 6'3", but he's built like a pumped up wide receiver. You know what I mean? Like you can, I actually like the talent they have at wide receiver right now. I mean, AD Mitchell's a little bit of a wild card, but like you might have a number 2 there. You might have a number 4 at worst, but they've got like the in-season moves that Mooj has made have been pretty solid in terms of improving the roster marginally.
Oh, you look at all the moves. Mechie, who had a bad day yesterday, but 2 weeks before, he looked like he was something. AD Mitchell's coming on. Harrison Phillips has been a beast, man. He's been so good. Briggs, Brownlee. It's like, all right, now but I think they're identifying the kind of players that Aaron Glenn wants. They're identifying what their scheme should be and how they all fit. Getting rid of Quinn's fine, getting rid of Sauce. Like, you could see the vision here. Sherwood's I'm not really sure what the hell Sherwood's doing right now, but it's like you can figure out. But to me, if you go best player available, that's not the worst thing because the Jets aren't one player away. You have holes. Like, just keep adding dynamic playmakers. So when you have the quarterback, you can start winning games. That's the most important thing.
100%. And I think, I watched the Texas A&M game, and Arch Manning, he was getting shit on by a lot of people early on in the season.
Yep.
He looks like a different breed of Manning quarterback. And I mean, he's an unbelievable athlete. He's got a really strong arm. He's big. He's obviously a Manning. So, the pedigree's there.
He can run.
I don't even think, 3 first-rounders next year, like, no, if you're in a number 1 spot, you're just and you don't have a quarterback, which I don't know how you end up in that spot unless you're the Titans, kind of a luck of the draw. But he's going to be the clear-cut number 1 if he declares next year. He will declare next year. But they shouldn't feel rushed to get a quarterback. I mean, everyone says like, well, who are you going to get? Who are you going to get? It's like Baker Mayfield was unwanted a couple of years ago. Sam Darnold was a free agent last year. Daniel Jones was a free agent last year. Like these guys shake free. And if you can pair someone who has talent to the right offensive coordinator and the right talent around them, like they're going to be there. The other thing, like this Colts pick, this could be a top 20 pick.
It could be. Yep.
There's no guarantee they make the
They're
playoffs.
falling apart right now.
And the back end of their schedule is not pretty. Daniel Jones is injured. Sauce is injured now. Like you can see the wheels coming off this really, really quickly. And that owner, she's up there. She's like in the play calls, she's in the huddle, lining up under center. Like she's getting ready to
taking our notes on our thing. It's like, woof.
Some heads can roll here, man.
But Jack, I'm with you though. Dude, there are so many different ways you can get your quarterback that I'm like, you know what? Go beat the Dolphins. I'm cool with it, dude.
Yeah.
Like to me, it's like it's different than other tank years because we were talking about this earlier. It's like we're not watching Frank Gore go up the middle like 5 times for 1 yard.
Yeah.
It's like it's Breece Hall, it's Mason Taylor, it's all these young guys, Membu, Olu. Like, all right, we have like these guys are all going to be here next year, and they're all so freaking young. They're part of the answer now, and they're helping the coach find answers, which is a good thing.
Yeah, and there's no egos left on defense, right? Like
Nope.
Briggs, by the way, has made me forget that Quinn Williams was ever
Yeah.
on the roster. Like,
He's been excellent.
Quinn Williams had 1 sack up until the point we traded him. Briggs has 3 or 4 now. I mean, he's been
he's
an
explosive.
absolute beast. But yeah, just collect some wins, man. I mean, at this point, like life is too short. You know, everyone who wants to like rush in to get a quarterback, like we've been waiting 70 years for a quarterback, like 60 years for a quarterback. Like you guys can't wait one more year. Like what are we? We're not winning anything next year anyway.
Nope.
With a rookie quarterback. The one funny thing, I'll let you guys get to another caller, but like watching Aaron Glenn up against Raheem Morris, I felt like they were just 2 mirrors. Like Aaron Glenn, I'm like, this is your future, dude. Like just meddling on the sideline, just no idea what is going on. But kudos to Glenn. I mean, he's got the team playing, man. It's not always pretty, but
They're fighting, man. They're not quitting. They're not backing down. So that's a good thing.
I'll tell you what, Raheem Morris is interesting because
He can get
if he gets fired and they blow that staff up, there's a chance he's a name to look for as the DC if they move on from Wilkes, potentially.
Yeah, and we'll see if Glenn has any balls to him because Wilkes has done nothing really to save his job. It certainly wasn't a pretty performance. You know, I thought I was like having a stroke during the game. Fox at one point flashed the game stats and said that the Jets had an interception, and I'm like, did I like miss a play here? And I'm like on the web, like digging it up. I'm like, who got the? And there's nothing there. So another week, no interceptions. We'll see if we can get.
Yeah, but they did have 2 3-and-outs to end the game when the game was on the line. The defense did go off the field twice.
I mean, against a powerful Atlanta offense.
Listen, man, I will take any progress I can get right now.
Could be looking at the Jets bridge next year and Kirk Cousins.
Dude, Kirk will never come
I'm just
to
kidding.
godless New York, dude.
Nope.
That guy is
He-
made for the
he-
country, you know.
Yep.
There's no he'll use us for his next negotiating contract, you know,
Yep.
to squeeze an extra few
Just like
million.
last time, the prick.
He's done it a couple times to us. He did it when he left Washington to go to Minnesota, and then did it again. So all right, guys, you enjoy Tyson. By the way, I enjoyed the stream. You guys were. I had to turn you guys off because I was just like, you guys were just disgusted by every play, which I appreciate. But be well, guys.
Later, dude.
Have a good one.
Yeah, there was a point yesterday in the stream where Romeo had me all amped up. I think it had to be, was in the 3rd quarter, maybe the 7th. Shit was just going bad, and he got me around. I was just fed up, dude. Like, I couldn't take it anymore. I'm like, I hate this, and I hate that, and I can't. I was just fucking done with it. Yeah. And then thankfully they came back, but it was. Yeah, Romeo had his hands full yesterday.
Yeah, there was some bumps in yesterday's game for sure. But just back to Jack's point, and a lot of callers have talked about it, and even in the comments, and we've talked about it. I think that's been one of the more impressive feats by Muji this season was kind of the revamping of this wide receiver room on the run, because you went from Tyler Johnson, Arian Smith, Alan Lazard all playing bigger roles for this team. Arian Smith's been disappointing and not playing because of the disciplinary stuff. That's something that's got to get cleaned up. Now you've turned that into Garrett Wilson as your number 1. Let's say insert, Carnell Tate potentially as your number 2, A.D. Mitchell 3, John Mechie 4. That's a pretty good top 4. And that's, credit to Muji for kind of putting that together on the fly here.
No, they completely rebuilt, and that's what you're supposed to do though. When you're overhauling your roster, you keep trying to find pieces, man. You keep finding until you find guys that you can keep, and that's it. So we're good. What's up, man?
How y'all doing?
Victory Monday.
Yes, of course. Well,
this was right. This is exactly what it was. When Tyrod had 37 passing yards at halftime, Romeo was giving me stats, and I was just getting pissed. And I'm like, we ripped Justin Fields for 54 yards. Tyrod had 37. I was just like, I went off the rails. And then they couldn't stop Bijan Robinson. They couldn't stop freaking Kyle Pitts. I was pissed.
It was the second coming of Justin Fields. Is worse.
Thank Then he missed a couple throws. I'm like, and then fucking Mechie was dropping passes all over the place. I'm
Yeah,
like,
the
oh my God.
Mechie drop on third down,
Oh.
which would have been a first down and probably a touchdown, was I was furious.
Then
at
they had
that.
a
That
false
was
start and a 3rd and
terrible.
4. I was like, I was just like, come
And
on.
then the penalty before the field goal.
And the McCreary ball, fucking whatever he was doing on the
what was
ground.
he doing?
Just there was like every time you had a little bit of glimmer of hope, they would do something to just piss you off. I'm like, I don't want to lose to the Falcons because you just want to win game. Like I wanted them to win yesterday. I'm like, this is a bad team, beat a bad team at home.
Yep.
And they did, but yeah, Meatball Parma is so right because Romeo, he kept like just kind of like nudging me, and then the Jets would add more gas to the fire, and then that was it.
Yesterday's game reminded me a lot of the 2013 Jets Falcons. Remember the Tim Boyle, Trevor Siemian game against Desmond Ridder in the rain, sloppy offense. Gave me flashbacks to that one.
Well, for me, I don't have a problem with the Jets winning because at least it shows that they were competitive yesterday. What I'd like to have seen was, I don't know, maybe once Fields started shitting up the joint, you put Tyrod in there, but I digress.
But Tyrod got hurt was the problem.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking about against Buffalo at least. We
ripped Glenn many times where we wanted Fields benched at halftime, and Glenn wouldn't do it because he was stubborn.
Yeah,
but it's just you got to live with it, and of course, with the trades that happened, is more about what the future has evolved. I think this year, you build the team rather than just panicking for a quarterback. We need wide receiver too because I like Mitchell, I like Mechie, but we gotta see more. We gotta see what else is out.
You can get a stud in the first round, like a legit game breaking talent in the first round to pair with Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, then it's then what? Then you can also build your defense because we got holes at safety. I believe we also have holes at linebacker
help.
Yeah, and pass rush because as much as I love McDonald, and JJ, I think JJ's really the only one that teams are really worried about. They don't give a damn about McDonald, and all grace of glory with him is just he had that one game against the Bucks, and that was it.
I think, Bubs, what do you think? I think if you get that other pass rusher, I think Will McDonald becomes a better player then. Like he's like the third one. But like I think I completely agree with you, man, where Jermaine Johnson has a lot of abilities coming off the injury. You're starting to see more and more. You're gonna probably get more presence in the middle of the defensive line. If you can get that other higher level, more consistent pass rusher opposite, then Will McDonald supplements them. I think he'll do okay then.
Yeah, because it's more about I think this year is more about building the team, and being. Now, here's the thing I will say. As far as next year, the team has to be like 7-10 wins at least, because that has to be the standard to say yourself like, okay, Aaron Glenn, you want to be competitive. We're not going to hold you for this season, but we are definitely going to keep.
Because you're going to have 2 first-round picks. You're going to have $100 million in cap space. You're going to have an influx of talent. The expectation is, say in theory they have 5 wins, you need to have more than 5 wins next year and play much better defense. Because see, this year, like Buzz, we talked about this many times. Where this year it's like, all right, you have a defense that you want, but do you have the right players in this defense? Do you have this? Do you have that? Next year, it's like now you've had 1 year bringing your players in. This is your second year bringing players in. The defense must be much better. The offense will be much better. Like Bubs, like next year, that's the expectation.
Yeah, agreed. And it's also the second year for guys like Malachi Moore, guys like AZ Thomas, even a Juwan Briggs will be his second year in this defense on this team. And we'll see what happens with Harrison Phillips. But specifically those young guys in the secondary, year 2 for them, they should only get better. They should only improve. So it's got to be improved 100%. And I think there will be a change at coordinator. I think, but I could be wrong. I mean, only time will tell. We'll see.
It reminds me so much of Jeff Ulbricht's first year when we thought it was just a matter of time when he was going to get fired year 2. And then all of a sudden they turned it around. I mean, Wilkes has been like wild one and done in his career.
Yeah.
But I just think it's a weird feeling where they may have that I need my players kind of situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could
Yeah,
be.
it's definitely, it's definitely worthy to see it. It's just I really hope, because next year and the year after will be the deciding factor of how I feel about this team, because I'm sick and tired of going into that dark tunnel and we think that's a light and it's a damn train trying to run us over. But at least at least I could say like there's something to look forward to, because
Yep.
once we traded Gardner, once we traded Williams, productive players is just they were
The defense,
on the
but the
silo.
defense has actually gotten better since they've been gone, which is kind of crazy.
Wild to even say, but
It's true.
it's just once you get rid, build something, build a culture, and once you get rid of those players, and it's looking like we might get rid of Brees as well.
Nah,
But
I think he's staying now. They're going to be tagging him.
they might you never. I mean,
Dude, Aaron Glenn is praising this guy endlessly in every press conference now.
Yeah.
Today, he's like, oh, he's the bell cow. He want the ball in his hands the bell cow ball in his hands as much as possible. Like, the writing on the walls for Brees, dude. Like, we didn't trade you trade deadline. You're the bell cow guy. You're going to be here next year, whether you like it or not.
He has to be, in my opinion, too.
Yep.
I think you got to bring him back.
that's fine, but that's again, this it could be up to Aaron Glenn, but that's up to Moji and our shit of an owner. Jesus Christ, I don't even want to get into
No,
that.
but I think
We'll see.
I think as of now, it's like Woody Johnson's kind of staying out of the way. Letting football guys make football decisions. I think having Spielman up there with Muji plays a big role, where they have he's kind of that consultant, the overseer of all this. It doesn't give them some space. I think right now Woody's kind of showing out and see what the vision is, especially when he signs off on trading Sauce Gardner and Quentin Williams.
Yep, definitely. It's just a process. We'll see what happens, because for some reason we always forever rebuilding. But
But
we'll
this
see what
is
happens.
we knew we were getting ourselves into this year, man. When you swing big for Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams, and who's the freaking guy that the pass rusher didn't do shit, Hassan Reddick, like they Jets swung big for all these guys. At some point, you got to pay the price. They're paying for it this year, and you start rebuilding next year.
Well, anyways, we'll see what happens. But yeah,
Smile, man. It's Victory Monday. Smile a little bit. Have a good night.
Y'all as well.
Got to end on a positive here. What's up, man?
Hey, how you doing, Tyson? How you
Hey,
doing,
good, man. How you
Bugs?
doing?
How's it
I'm
going?
doing good. I'm not like the most Jet fans who are upset that they won, because it's not Robert Saleh.
Oh, he froze.
No. I think we better stop.
He froze.
They're actually winning with young talent who are going to be here next year. And
That's big.
I understand all the the quarterback controversy. They need to get a quarterback. They need to get a quarterback. I got a name for you, Dak Prescott.
Sign me
Dak
up. I'll take
Prescott.
him.
No. I'm not even saying take Dak Prescott. You can trade for him, but Dak Prescott was a 4th-round draft pick, and he's the Cowboys franchise quarterback. The first year he came in, why was that? They had the best offensive line of football. They had Jason Witten at tight end. They had Cole Beasley, and they had Des Bryant. And most importantly, they had a competent scheme to move the ball. And they started, I think, 8-1 that year and made the wild card.
Yeah. And Zeke.
And Ezekiel Elliott running the ball. So I don't know what the Jets are ranked at rushing so far. Last time I checked, I think they're 3rd or 4th in the league. But, I mean, most of this offensive line is young. I think, 4 of the 5 players are under the age of 27.
Yep.
And you have a lot of flexibility there. And just build your scheme, build your system, get players in here. Then you can go get a quarterback. You can draft a quarterback this year, but you know what I mean? Just get your scheme and system, get your roster how you want it. Muji's finding out the players that Aaron Glenn wants, and the team's playing hard. Like, you can argue that if Brandon Stevens picks that ball off the first week of the season, this season actually turns out a lot different.
Yep.
Because they could technically be in 6-6 right now, but what they are is they're 3-9, and I'm with you, Tyson. I'm rooting for a win next week. I don't care.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Dude, this is a phenomenal call. And I completely agree with you. Like, so many times the Jets chase that quarterback and they don't have the foundation around them. And then the quarterback has to be the savior with no receivers, no offensive line, a half-ass coordinator, like all these different things, where they're almost doing it the opposite now. Now, like, you look at the offensive line, they could have 4/5 of it here. You say you upgrade the center, that offensive line is going to be stout as hell. You got Garrett Wilson, say 80 Mitchell's there. You add a wide receiver. You have friggin' Brees. Like, they're legit. They're like, it's not even like being fanboy. These are actually good players. Like, Garrett Wilson's a good player. Mason Taylor's a good player. So that quarterback has a chance to succeed much sooner rather than later.
Dude, does nobody remember fucking Mark Sanchez, bro? Best
It's
offensive
true.
line in football. They made
Ground and
back-to-back
pound.
AFC championship games. Oh, by the way, prime time, if you're watching this, hey, how's Aaron Rodgers working out for the Steelers?
Oh, he had all that
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers talk is way quiet now, and he's pulling the
How's
same
that
shit he
going?
pulled here.
Yep.
Hey,
Throwing
the
the
going
teammates
got
under the
bad,
bus.
and what happened? He got going. Is
Like
that
he
the
always
play you want
does.
for your culture? No. So again, prime time, I love you, but as usual, Tyson's right, and you're gonna have a lot of fun watching the New York Jets this next year. And that's just a fact that you're just gonna have to accept. You guys have
Later, man. Have a good
go.
night. Great call. You know, that's funny because the whole Aaron
Yeah,
Rodgers
that-
thing, that was so predictable.
Yep.
And it was like a couple weeks in, oh, field sucks. The Jets could have had Rodgers.
Yep.
Is that what you want right now?
And then it's funny with Rodgers because he'll bash the player and then he'll turn around like a couple seconds later and try and like prop him up, like with Jonnu Smith.
Yep.
He goes, I think he ran the in breaker.
Yeah, he's supposed to go in, but he went out or something like
Yeah,
that.
he went out. I think that was what the combination was. And then he goes, I know Jonnu cares a lot. He's a true pro. He'll get it fixed. Now it's like,
But he fucked
okay, I
up.
bashed him. Now let me try and prop him up. And he did the same thing earlier in the year too, when I think it was Calvin Austin ran the wrong route. He's
Yep,
like, oh,
he
he's
did.
such a great kid. He's learning. It's going to be all right. It reminded me just of the red line, just the same
Yep,
thing. And
Same
I'm
thing, Mike Williams. Same
so
thing.
glad we're not sitting here with like a 4-8 or 3-9 Jets team with Rodgers throwing players under the bus.
But that's like the leadership. Like all the different things you want. Like Tyrod Taylor right now, as bad as he's very average. He's old. He gets hurt a lot,
Yeah.
but he's high character guy, work ethic guy. The locker room all respects him. It's like that's okay. That's your true bridge guy. He's not a distraction. No fancy headlines. No complaining. None of this shit. It's just, and that's what Aaron Glenn wants. He wants that hard nosed guy that's not about the media. You know what I mean? Like he literally said the whole Arian Smith thing today. He's like, listen, shouldn't it's behind the scenes stuff. Even the whole Justin Fields thing about Justin Fields not want to play like the Wildcat, all in-house stuff. We don't discuss that. That's that's what he wants from his quarterback as well.
Yeah, and it's one thing too, because for players to hold each other accountable, but Rodgers right now is 27th in the NFL in QBR. I mean, Geno, Cam Ward, Fields, and Tua, I think, are the only ones that are worse. So
he's playing terribly.
The whole Rodgers, so many other quarterbacks do this where they, call out their other players and hold each other accountable. Fine, but Rodgers isn't holding up his end of the stick either. I mean, he's so washed and he can't move. He took that massive hit. He's done. Pittsburgh, it's rough over there with they're the whole fire Tomlin chance. They're 6 and
mess.
It's a mess. Yeah,
It's crazy. This is a catch. The Patriots scored again. 24-7 Patriots. Giants get blown out of the building. Oof.
I don't have the game on in the room I'm in, but I saw in the chat that Young-Ho Koo couldn't kick. He stubbed his toe or
something
hurt
happened.
himself.
Yeah, it was something. Yeah, I saw that too. I think he kicked. He missed the ball or something. Then Drake
There's
made
not a
made
team
sure.
out there that screws up the kicker position more than the Giants. It's unbelievable.
That cost them so many. It reminds me of the friggin' Zerline last year, but they cost them so many games. Well, how many times does Graham Gano get hurt and they didn't even field the kicker?
I don't know how he had a neck injury as a kicker. I'm not too sure how that happened.
Kick the grass?
I gotta
see, man.
that.
It could always be worse. We don't have that. We have Nick Folk. So
Nick Folk's been great, and we've had our fair share of kicker problems. I mean, we had Zerline was a train wreck last year. Then we had the one good year of Jason Myers. Then let him go, him and Andre Roberts. And in the next year, Kari Vedvik was kicking in week 1 of the Bills game. He had all those missed kicks.
Look at what his face.
Ficken.
Eddie Pinero. I used to love Eddie Pinero.
Yeah.
He's kind of salvaged his career. He's been done pretty well.
Eddie P. I remember he had I think it was the long field goal in the Gaze year against the Seahawks to make Gaze settle for the field goal to make it 40-3.
I think we have with Cairo Santos and the guy we had. We can go all
And Jake McLaughlin, I think Chase McLaughlin, who's with the Bucs now. He kicked in the last game of the 2020 season against the Patriots, and that was it. He kicked one game, and now he's with the Bucs. He's actually pretty good now. Yeah, there's a plethora of former Jets kickers all over the league. It's crazy.
And I always wanted Ross Martin. Ross Martin was I always wanted him. He followed the show. He would did interviews with us, stuff like that. It was and he would never get a chance. He would have a great training camp and never make the goddamn team.
Mhm.
It was crazy.
Yeah, now Folk's back. They've had wide range of kickers. I'm probably even forgetting some. Anders Carlson for a
I'll
little
tell you
bit
what,
there.
though, the punter is legit, though. The Jets
Oh,
punter
yeah.
is an absolute weapon.
Yeah, remember that too? Everybody was freaking out over Morstead.
Yep,
That was
I
another
wasn't.
one.
I didn't give a shit. I was like,
Yeah.
I can care less. All right, somehow we did an hour and a half tonight. I have no idea how we did an hour and a half, but we'll have to bring on a very happy Seahawk fan watching him. The Vikings, dude. Can you imagine all the talent the Vikings had, and they're watching J.J. McCarthy just shit it away? Yesterday it was Brosmer, who was
Yeah.
horrendous. He threw, 4 interceptions? Man.
Big day.
And they had Sam Darnold in the building. They had Daniel Jones in the
Yep.
building. They
Yeah,
completely
they did.
blew it. And now I know you're happy, man.
Yes, I am. I'm very happy. How was your Thanksgiving?
It was very good, man. Busy, but very good. How was yours?
Very good. Very good, very good, very good. And yeah, it felt good to beat on the second coming of Nathan Peterman.
J.J. McCarthy and Brosmer. Brosmer was terrible, dude. Oof. Man, he was bad.
The Seahawks defense won me fantasy by themselves.
You know who's killing me is Kenneth Walker's not scoring any touchdowns. He's killing me right now.
I could have warned you about that.
Well, too late now. He's on my team. Well, congratulations, man. It must be nice. You have a 9-3 team. Meanwhile, Pete Carroll's dying a slow death there with the Raiders.
Yes,
disaster.
I feel so bad for him.
Yep.
But he should have stayed retired
I hope he's making a lot of money because he's taking a beating there.
or he should have gone back to college instead.
Yep. He had a great college career. He could beat Belichick down there at least.
Yeah. But how you doing?
Doing good.
Can I say something?
You can say whatever you want, Jose. We don't have any censors here.
What some Jets fans need to realize is there's more than one way to skin a cat.
Yep.
You don't have to go all in on one position.
I agree.
Now, when you have picks for the future and just let the process.
Trust the process, Bob.
Yep.
No, let the process work itself out.
I agree with you, Jose. This is why we love talking to you, man, because you're keeping it real. I'm with you, dude. It's December 1st, man. There's many different ways you can go about it. The Jets have tons of cap space, tons of draft picks. See what happens. I'm not panicking now. I'll panic. And I guarantee you, once Mendoza plays on Saturday, it's either going to be he's the second coming of Tom Brady or he's Zach Wilson 2.0.
Yeah.
You know what's going to happen there.
Yeah, it's going to be an overreaction either way.
That's gonna be a
What time is that game? Is it a 3:30 game? What time is that game?
6.
I think it's 4. Or is it
Or
is it noon?
I hope it's an early game.
No, I think 4 o'clock's the SEC championship.
6:30.
The 6:30 game?
Yes.
Oh, well, 6:30 your time, right? It's
Yeah.
not.
No, yours.
8 o'clock. Yeah, 8 o'clock. It is the night game.
Oh,
The Big Ten is
damn
always
it.
the night game.
Come on, man. The UFC's
Lucas
on
Oil.
too. I can't be doing. Killing me.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that'll be
Got the 2v. Oh,
be
terrible.
an interesting one.
Jose, good seeing you, man. I see you. I'm glad you're doing good. Your Seahawks are doing good.
Yeah.
Good seeing you, man.
Thanks, guys.
Have a great night.
Have a good
Love
one.
you guys. Good
Later,
night.
dude. Love you too, man. Bubs, we made it. An hour and a half somehow.
Yes. Just one comment to add on the quarterback.
Go for it.
This time of year, there's still so, like you mentioned, with it being December 1st, there's still so much time. I mean, Zach Wilson wasn't really on the radar until his pro day. And I mean, even just Membu really wasn't on anybody's radar either. Not quarterback, but just looking at how players this is still extremely early in the draft process from now until, the pro days, the combine, all of those different things. Like Membu, no Jets fan was talking about Membu last year this time. So not saying that there's going to be some quarterback that's just going to blow up and the Jets are going to take him, but there's still a lot of time between now and the draft for not just draft quarterbacks to become available, but also, potential free agents, potential trades to become available, see what happens with some of these teams, see what happens with these coaching staffs, who stays, who goes. Like there is a lot that needs to happen between now and late April where a lot of guys that we might not even be talking about right now could become available, and guys that we are talking about right now might not even be a possibility. So,
well, that's great because you figure you look at a team like the Eagles. If they completely fall apart and they don't make the playoffs, changes could happen there. The Steelers, Tomlin leaves, they're gonna have a hole there. Like so many different things that happen between now and then. Teams fall apart, teams rise, quarterbacks get like injuries. There's so many different levels and facets to this that I can't worry about it. I'm all about best player available as of today doesn't bother me one bit, dude. The Jets will find a quarterback. They know they have to. They took this job. They knew they have to get it. There's a variety of ways to do it, but winning these games is not going to hold them back. It's just not.
Yeah, and I always remember going back to the Zach Wilson draft. There was like the early mock drafts in like November and the early mock drafts, because that year, we were basically looking at mock drafts in December, but the early parts of that, I remember Kyle Trask out of Florida was being mocked early on. Like there was a lot of people saying that he was going to go number 2 behind Trevor. He completely fell off a cliff. And then Zach out of the middle of nowhere makes that crazy throw at his pro day. And it's, Joe Douglas and them are there. And it's, here you go. You're taking him number 2.
So much can happen. Dude, the college playoffs change a lot of things too. That could, if some of these guys don't play well, they can go back to school. If they kind of you never know what could happen there. I just have we'll see. I have a funny feeling a lot of these guys go back, especially with the NIL money. And I think Ty Simpson, I see the one person in chat talking about him a lot. I like Ty Simpson. He needs some work, man. I think he benefited a lot from going back.
Yeah, he's probably a year away. It's funny because I was listening to, I forget who I was listening to, a draft analyst the other day talk a little bit about just the class. And he's not coming out, but it does kind of speak to the class. A lot of people would still believe that even though Arch Manning could still use another year, he probably still would be the number 1 in this class, if he came out, which, I get he's
coming on, man.
That, but also kind of speaks to a little bit of the weakness in this class with some of these other guys. So only time will tell.
Well, thank you guys for joining us on a Victory Monday. And I'm hoping the Jets beat the Dolphins this weekend. I'll be actively rooting for that because I think it'd be a lot of fun to stop their winning streak. Mike McDaniel could be saving his job somehow, which is pretty crazy.
Maybe get a first interception of the season on Tua. They're the kings of that. Brandon Eccles, Ashton Davis, those guys they feasted on Tua. So hopefully we can get a pick.
Meanwhile, the Patriots are absolutely destroying the Giants. Everybody have a good night. We'll talk to you next Monday.
J-E-T-S-J-J-J